Mark here can control a smart home and an Apple Vision Pro with only his thoughts, thanks to a brain implant from a company called Synchron. Synchron's brain-computer interface, BCI, is designed to allow people living with paralysis to control digital devices using their thoughts.
I can talk to you with my thoughts.
The company recently announced 2 new milestones: the first use of its BCI with Amazon Alexa, and the first use of its BCI with the Apple Vision Pro. Mark, one of Synchron's trial participants, was able to use Amazon's Fire tablet to turn lights on and off, see who is outside using a Blink security camera, start video streaming, and more using only his brain and Synchron's BCI. Apple Vision Pro, on the other hand, is typically controlled by eye tracking or eye gaze combined with hand gestures. Synchron's BCI presents an alternative to hand gestures for people without the use of their hands.
And we're moving closer and closer to the major prophecy that has to be spoken about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, as these devils know that their time is short. First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. And I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of the GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing his word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. An open prayer that this lesson be edifying to the elect. So, I have a couple articles, just, measuring the time as we're commanded to do and giving warning, to you, sincere brothers and sisters that are out there of, what's going on, and letting our people know that, that's major prophecy is very nigh. The infrastructure is already set up. They've already been running tests. I'm talking about these Edomites, these devils. And, with it going to Apple, and being mentioned, in front of the people, that's a major sign, man, because, you Jake know, that there's a lot of our people that are just absolutely infatuated with having Apple products, man. They gotta have the newest, of this. They gotta have the Apple Watch. They gotta have the Apple this, newest phone. It's been that way for years now. So now, these devils are comfortable enough to, come out publicly and present their next so-called innovation. Let's start off. Let's get a scripture before I get this. Let me get this real quick. In Psalms 10:3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. So they're openly coming out with their wickedness, man, and presenting it to the world, because this is ultimately what their plan is. They're doing it under the guise of convenience. As you seen in an opening clip, having the fucking monstrosity on your fucking face and moving your hands, that's not enough. As if picking up a phone and moving your fingers, is too hard. So they literally are segueing from the disabled, and brother's been saying this, when Elon was, pushing a Neuralink and, these devils, performing miracles, left-handed miracles, right? That they would do this, so that, the people could see it and then think that it's cool. And now they're openly saying that, people can get a C-hip implant to link themselves with the this technology, which there's a very demonic undertone to it that they're not telling the people, and that's why the Lord set up the prophets, man. So let's read some of this. Let's get this first. This is Revelation 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahawashi. Worship Yahawah, for the testimony of Yahawashi is a spirit of prophecy. And the word prophecy literally means to say before, right? The prophets, before they were called prophets, were called seers or visionaries, right? So Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi have put the spirit on their men, their watchmen, to give these warnings and to warn our people of the things to come. And this is a major prophecy, man. So let's read this, and I have a couple other articles that I kind of want to touch on, and just bringing it out, man. So this is from End Time Headlines, and it reads, Apple is investing in people controlling devices using their thoughts. We know that, this fourth industrial revolution, linking man with machine is a part of these devils' plan. Going into the Internet of Things and ultimately having everybody on this system. There's lots of talks. If I go right here, where is it at? I think I thought I had it pulled up. I'll pull it up here. Let's do this. biometricupdate.com. There's lots of talk. You see government questions about UK wallet asks its own questions about digital ID. Wearable what does it say? Haus Chun Wu's wearable biometric authentication, Slovakia, via PBG wins NSF grant. So there's a lot of talk about biometrics, digital IDs. Right here, Israel seeks funding for plan to require facial recognition in exchange for food in Gaza. Damn, that's wicked as fuck. Damn, I just seen this right now too. That's a lesson right there. But yeah, but this is the times that we're in, man. Cameroon's election agency trains staff to use of newly acquired biometric gear. So this is where we're at, man. This is where we're at. We can go on and on. This is what I was reading earlier. iProve stacks up border biometrics wins with Orlando airport deployment announced, man. So more facial recognition, so getting people used to scanning their hands, scanning their faces, right? As it's, as it speaks about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, So this is the times that we're living in, man. So it's high time to awake out of sleep, Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our fellow brethren that were scattered amongst the heathen nations, man. So it says, Apple has taken a significant step toward integrating brain-computer interface BCI technology into its ecosystem, partnering with startup Synchron to develop a system that allows users to control devices like iPhones and Vision Pro using brain signals. This collaboration, reported by the Wall Street Journal, aims to enable individuals with conditions such as ALS or spinal injuries to navigate Apple devices through thought alone, making a potential leap in accessibility and human-computer interaction. At the core of his partnership is Synchron's innovative device, Stentrode, a stent-like implant placed in a vein atop the brain's motor cortex. Unlike traditional BCI systems that require invasive brain surgery, the Syntrode is inserted through a minimally invasive procedure, making it a less risky option for patients. The device captures brain signals and translates them into commands, allowing users to perform tasks like texting, browsing, or controlling apps without physical input. And they've been conditioning the people for this for a long time, man. I mean, through different movies, through different shows, you know, um, you know, through the Pompeii, the face, like basically, I forget where I seen it, but like in China though, they could just scan their face and they could pay, so the technology's here. The devil, and their system is moving, man. When their ultimate plan is to have everybody hipped, man. And they're pushing forward towards this, So let's get another one. So this is from Fortune magazine, and it says, Slovakia. All right, we'll just read a little bit. I always want you to pay for everything. But I'll just read the headline. It says, Apple probes, and this was today, what's today? The 13th as well, yep. Apple probes next frontier with new brain implant standard, but what it really needs is to sell more phones. So they got this out here, and this is the devil CEO, Tim Cook. And it says, Apple showcased its latest sci-fi vision on Tuesday by announcing that users of its products may one day be able to control them with brain signals. If achieved with the help of brain implants or C-hips, it would mark another huge milestone for the company. So we're here, man. We're here. So this is from India Today. I believe it was also published today. Yep, May 13th. And it says, Apple working on mind-controlling technology to let users control iPhone and iPad with their thoughts. Apple is seemingly working on some mind-boggling stuff. No, it's not the next iPhone, iPad, or even Vision Pro 2.0. It says Apple has entered the field of brain-computer interfaces, BCI as they call it, and is working with Synchron to design a small implant called a Syntrode, like what we was reading about. This can allow users to control their Apple devices with their mind. Apple is seemingly working on some mind-boggling stuff. While these products might be in development and coming sooner than expected, Apple is also working on technology that goes above and beyond, the convention. Technology that might someday let users control their iPhone and iPad with their own mind. The goal, as you can probably tell already, is to help people with severe physical disabilities, such as those caused by ALS, spinal cord injuries, use their Apple devices without needing to touch the right. So that's what, they're starting with. But ultimately, the pitch is to have everybody C-hipped under the guise of convenience, man. So this. Well, matter of fact, let me get that. That just came to mind. Ciroc. What's that? Is that 10 or 12? I think it's 12. Yep, let's start. I'll just go straight to the point. Sirach 12, Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine these. And that's exactly what these devils doing. They're coming with these smooth words. Let's get that. Um, Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. So these devils are constantly plotting and planning and laying snares for the Israelites, man. And they're even being wicked to their own people, man. To other Edomites, And that's why the scriptures say, never trust thy enemy, man. And these devils are going full force with this, man. Full force. So this is what is it? Polytechnique Insights. So I looked up I was trying to look up the future of brain machine synchronization. And it says Hamilton Mann, which it looks like a Jake right here, Group Vice President of Digital Marketing and Digital Transformation at Thales and Senior Lecturer at NSED. Let's go down. So it says the evolution of AI represents a breakthrough in the relationship between humans and machines. And like LD Ashawamba goes into it a lot too. The fourth industrial revolution, man. Matter of fact, let's look that up. What is the fourth industrial revolution? So it says the industry 4.0, also known as the fourth industrial revolution, is the digital transformation of manufacturing and industrial processes, right? So as we see, different jobs, are being done away with. A perfect example here in Massachusetts was the tolls, and really, all around the country, but that was a good paying job, many moons ago, and then they figured out that they could use cameras to do the same exact thing and what's the word? Basically speed up the process, fast track the process. There's another word, but Salakia. But they can be more efficient with not having an actual toll. People don't have to go through traffic. They could just go through and if they have the little reader, the little thing to scan to take the money right out of their bank, they could do that. Or if not, then they have the cameras just take pictures of the license plate and just send the bill in the mail. So they fast tracked that whole thing, and they took all those good jobs from those people that were working there for years, man. And that's going into all facets. Like there was an article a month ago maybe, saying that I don't know if it was Elon, but that he believes that surgeons, will be robot surgeons, will be the next big thing, or better than actual surgeon, human surgeons and everything. So there's this whole push from these devils to go digital and to push towards robotics and UBI, universal basic income. So so there's a lot of things happening at the same time, which is all gearing up to the MO to the TV, man. All of this is going towards the MO to the TV. And if you're watching, and paying attention, you already can see it, man. It's very obvious, man. It says it integrates intelligent technologies like AI, robotics, and big data to create a more connected ecosystem for manufacturing and supply chain management. The goal is to improve productivity, efficiency, and flexibility, and enable Smarter decision making and customization. Yeah. The goal is to have everybody on the system and be slaves to Esau Edom, man. That's why that the hour of temptation, as it's spoken about in the scriptures, is coming, man. Because these devils are trying to get, our people, the Israelites, to bend the knee to the Baal, man. But the Lord said He have reserved. Let's get that. Let me see if I can find 7,000. There we go. Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer? Let me see. Romans 11:3. Lord, they have killed the prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life, right? Because these devils are going to make war with the remnant of her seed, man, the elect of the nation of Israel, man. But the Lord said, but what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, which is a complete number of men, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So there's going to be a complete number of elect men that will not go along with Esau's bullshit, man. That will stay upon Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi and will not fold, man. And Lord's will, us sincere brothers and sisters, we're of that number, man. Because these devils are coming with it, man. Look at this shit, man. AI replicates human interactions. Like, man, this is a fucking bullshit, man. All this shit is fucking bullshit that Esau is pushing on the left-hand side, to ultimately try to, basically get his blessing, to live forever, to rule on earth. But he forsook his blessing, man, for a pot of uncooked, food, man, because he got no goddamn patience. But ultimately, because Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, made, had these devils do it that way for prophecy's sake, man. But he forsook his birthright. So that's not our fucking fault. That's not the Israelites' fault. That's your fucking fault. That's y'all's forefathers' fault, man. Because he was a fucking impatient son of a bitch. Yeah, it wasn't, the blessing wasn't for you, man. It was supposed to go through Abraham, Isaac, and then to Jacob. It wasn't supposed to go to Esau, man. If you got a problem with that, take it up with Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi and see how that goes for you. So let's end off on this right here. These are the times that we're in, man. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That Greek word for mark is charagma, right? That's CHIP, that implantable RFID device, in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Mark here can control a smart home and an Apple Vision Pro with only his thoughts, thanks to a brain implant from a company called Synchron. Synchron's brain-computer interface, BCI, is designed to allow people living with paralysis to control digital devices using their thoughts.
I can talk to you with my thoughts.
The company recently announced 2 new milestones: the first use of its BCI with Amazon Alexa, and the first use of its BCI with the Apple Vision Pro. Mark, one of Synchron's trial participants, was able to use Amazon's Fire tablet to turn lights on and off, see who is outside using a Blink security camera, start video streaming, and more using only his brain and Synchron's BCI.
Right, and that, and of course, they're making it look like the coolest thing ever, and all that bullshit, man. And as the scriptures say, through peace he shall destroy many. So even Satan's, devil is turned into an angel of light, man. So people are gonna be deceived by this, because Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi are not dealing with them. They're gonna go trust in the devil and the beast in their system, and it's gonna be to their destruction. But this message is to you sincere brothers and sisters that truly believe in Yahawashi and their report, man, through the men that they have set up, and we hope to be of that elect, man, to be delivered, because we don't plan on following this devil and staying upon, the one that smote us, man, to leaning upon the one that hurt us and deceived us and enslaved us, and these devils. We plan on staying upon the Holy One of Israel, man, trusting upon, leaning upon Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man, and we have hope that we will be shielded from all this bullshit that these devils are coming with, man, through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, the devil causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell except he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, man. So, this is the times that we're in, and it's only going to intensify, because these devils know that their time is short, so they're gonna come down with great wrath, So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to report on this, another MO to the TB update. Stay circumspect, brothers, because the days are indeed evil. Stay prayed up, continue to call on our power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, to protect us and our families in these troubling times that are on the horizon. So I hope and pray this lesson was edifying to you sincere brothers and sisters. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out to listen and learning. Fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. And salutation to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, say a baba ball, and kwam yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.